Next, I have Meryl Dorey.
Oh, wow.
Is the mother of 4 children, one of whom was injured by his DPT vaccine in 1989, and then again by the MMR in 1990. Meryl founded the AVN in 1994 because she was passionate about ensuring that parents would always have the right to make free and informed choices regarding vaccinations and other health-related issues. Welcome, Meryl.
Thank you, Alona, and thank you, everyone. The word heartwarming comes to mind because I can't think of anything better to say, just to see everyone out here. I wish all of Australia could see this, but the media, those cowards in the media, they haven't shown up. But we will be our own media, because I can't tell you how many people are broadcasting this live on Facebook and on the internet right now. So we will make the media irrelevant, because they already are. Anyway, thank you. I was asked to talk today about the fact that no jab, no pay, and no jab, no play have no basis in science. And this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to start out with something, and I apologize to Pastor Herbert Niemöller. I think that's how you say his name. First, the pharmaceutically funded government officials brought in no jab, no pay. And I was afraid, or thought it didn't concern me, so I did nothing. Next, they brought in no jab, no play. And I was afraid, or thought it didn't concern me, so I did nothing. Then, they started discussing no jab, no job, no jab, no pension, no jab, no school. And all those are real. And by then, I no longer had any rights. And it did concern me. But I'd waited too long, and I couldn't say or do anything. We are told today that our healthy, unvaccinated children are placing their fully vaccinated peers at risk. Therefore, we need to have enforced segregation, because that's what no jab, no play is. Don't take any other word for it. It is segregation, to protect those who are already protected and still are somehow susceptible to infectious diseases. We are told that our healthy, unvaccinated children are placing those who for health reasons were unable to be vaccinated. But according to no jab, no pay, the only reason not to get vaccinated is an anaphylactic reaction to a previous dose of vaccine. And then you only get an exemption to that particular vaccine. So it doesn't make any sense. We are told that our healthy, unvaccinated children are disease carriers, but the science clearly shows that the recently vaccinated can and do both contract and pass on the diseases that they have recently been vaccinated against for up to 90 days following vaccination. No vaccine can prevent you from spreading a disease, even if you yourself are not displaying symptoms. No vaccine can prevent you from contracting a disease. Did you hear that? Contracting a disease? Because no vaccine conveys immunity. That is why the term immunization is a misnomer. The only people who are really immunized are the ones who have gotten the disease, recovered from it, and now have lifelong immunity. No vaccine can give you that. Through the myth of herd immunity, which does not mean what the government wants you to think it means, we are being told lies about how the less than 2% of our childhood population who are unvaccinated are somehow causing illness in the 95% plus who are fully vaccinated. Aside from the fact that this makes no scientific sense at all, and completely ignoring the fact that up to 60% of our population are adults who could be considered to be completely unvaccinated because they haven't had a vaccine in decades, the term herd immunity never had anything to do with the idea that it's being used for today, that of wiping out a disease, that if we get enough people vaccinated, the disease will die out. The term came about in the 1930s. It was a Czech researcher named Hedrich, and all he was trying to do was to understand why infectious diseases, and he used measles as an example, why infectious diseases were cyclical in nature, why you would have one outbreak and then a period of time where there'd be very few or no cases, and then an outbreak again. At no time was herd immunity meant to ever describe the wiping out of a disease. The term predated mass vaccination by decades and has been cynically co-opted by forces in the government and the medical community who think that we are dumb enough to be fooled by such stupidity. When I was growing up in the U.S. in the 1960s, segregation was a dirty word. We knew that only those who were bigoted were in favor of the idea of separating children from other children and adults from other adults. Back then, segregation was founded on fear that people of a different color or religion, or people who spoke a different language or who were raised in a different culture, were somehow not good enough to mix with those of us who knew the right way to live. We were taught to fear those who were different and to shun them. It was only through the efforts of the human rights movement of the 1950s and the 1960s that we came to realize how wrong these ideas were and how we as humans would prosper and live best if we not only accepted our differences, but celebrated them. Tolerance was the catchphrase of those times, and it is a word that is badly needed today. Today, our government, our non-existent media, and our fellow citizens have been told that it is okay to segregate on the basis of medical choice. Do you think it's okay to do that? Absolutely not. No way. No jab, no pay, no way. They have been told that it is okay to treat those of us who have made different health choices not only with disrespect and derision, but to be openly abusive towards us. And this sort of behavior would not be punished. The rule of law no longer exists in Australia. The rule of the jungle is what we are living under. The rule of a fascist dictatorship that wants to dictate and control what we eat, how we speak, who we meet with, what forms of medicine we use, and how we live every single aspect of our lives. Through perpetrating the myth of herd immunity and striking fear into the hearts of the less informed on this subject, the government is inciting hatred, which, by the way, is illegal, and potentially violence against those who are educated, involved with their families, and exercising their constitutional right to make free and informed health choices. Today we have a choice. There is always a choice. We can choose to do nothing. We can choose to sit back and hope that they will leave us alone. But I'm here to tell you that if you do make that choice, you will be choosing to participate in your family's doom. Those who stayed silent in the early 1930s when the Jews were being blamed for every ill, physical, financial, and societal, lived to deeply regret that decision, if they even lived long enough to feel that emotion. I am asking all of you, I am begging all of you to make the choice to resist. Resist tyranny in all of its forms. Resist laws that are immoral, unethical, and that discriminate against loving, law-abiding families. Resist the fear that is being spread by those who want to stop you from thinking for yourself, because fear is one of the best ways known to combat logic. Stand together with us today and into the future. Be brave and own your decision. Speak out when you see injustice being done. Share your knowledge freely and without fear. Be the change that you want to see. Make the world a better place than the one that we are living in today. You have the power. You just need to use it. Thank you.